like to kick his ass just once.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Beef jerky?
No, no, son, thank you very much. No, it gives me the wind, something terrible.
Oh.
Captain's log.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
Playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
I had a beat off.
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
I feel no shame, only pride, because my syphilis is a badge of honor.
I love Leia.
That's great psychology. Why don't you just say something bad about my mother?
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. Wow. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
I like wood. Deeper and longer.
5 egg.
This is 100% fact here.
5 egg.
Piece of malware called Q-Snatch.
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time? Looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
Just the facts, ma'am.
All right, we're going live. All right. Got so much to cover. We're never gonna get through it all. Just not possible. But I'm gonna do my best. Give you a slice of things on a per capita level.
And you know, when you say per capita, there's many per capitas. It's like per capita relative to what?
I think relative to how Michigan gave us the Mustang and gave us Motown.
Michigan gave us Motown.
Or that, sure.
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
I'm trying. Just me and a bunch
People
of...
coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup.
That's right.
Butthole!
Yep. Butthole soup. All right. Let's jump right in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. I'm your host, Hal Sparks. It's so good to be with you guys, okay? We only got to show off 3 of the 4 kittens this morning, and they are killer cute, and they go back to their semi-forever home tonight. They are being, we were fostering, and now they go back to their regular foster, and now, then what? Now I just get to miss them forever and ever? Great. Hit that like, share the show, patreon.com/HalSparks. Subscribe, for God's sakes, if you're out there. I'd like real people to subscribe to the show. I'm sick of these bots following me around. I mean, obviously, look, they're all playing a sound effect that says love you long time, which I find offensive and also enticing. And I don't know quite how to react. So I would rather real people subscribe to the channel. I'm not a big fan of the idea of followers. I find it very ironic that a lot of people aren't leaving shitter and going over to Blue Sky because they're worried that their followers won't follow them. Think about that for a second. If I go from this thing to this thing, I will lose all of my followers. Well, I guess that begs the question, were they ever followers in the first place? Perhaps That's a shitty name for the whole thing. Anyways, okay. Now, if I may, we'll jump right in and say hi to the chat room. Hello, chat room. You good and lovely and delicious people. Whoops. What? Oh, froze there for a second. That was exciting. Where's my Hemi? What do you mean? Because I'm going to get the... All right. Yeah, I don't have... Hal, keep the brown kitty. Ethan's girlfriend wants to keep it, so I think we will get to visit it on the regular. I think there's a very strong chance the little brown kitty will be part of the rotation here. So your name was already taken on Blue Sky. Well, I would say go get the URL Cosmic Rose for Cosmic Rose, the way you spell it, .net or something, and then use that as your name. That should do it. I'm here to solve problems. It's what I do. Okay. And to everyone who disagrees with me,
Shut up and never say anything again as long as you live.
Now, we've got a lot to cover today, not the least of which is in What the Hell news. What the hell? By the way, hit the like, share the show, Venmo me. That would be a good way to... I keep forgetting to sell the show. Cliff is always on me about it, and am I growing a beard? That remains to be seen, how much will actually grow. I mean, it's a bit of a goat, but it's not much of one. I can only grow stuff out in between Nerd Halen gigs. So I got to shave it whenever those come around. So, you know how, like if you make vacation plans or whatever and you get a cold or those kind of things, everything, like the timing of it, I figure I can help the band get some gigs if I grow a beard I'm attached to and don't want to shave it, because that's exactly what will happen. It's a thought. Anyways, so I'm just, not shaving that much is all. Whatever. Anyways, I'm nowhere near the outstanding facial hair situation of this fellow. Now, apparently, I have to deal with this dude now because he is the ambassador to... don't start play. Shut up. Because he is the ambassador to Hollywood now. Him and John Voight and who else? James Woods and Randy Quaid. Who else? The ghost of Ron Silva. I'm trying to think of who's still on, on Trump, on Team Trump. And I have to be completely honest. I love Braveheart as a movie. I really did. I enjoyed the Riggs character in the Lethal Weapons series. I liked Mad Max. I liked the Road Warrior. It's a little fucking sad, right? It's a little. Yes, Clint Eastwood is still alive. That's a good point. But his girlfriend is dead, who was like half his age. They're 2/3 his age. She's like 60 or something, or maybe even younger. She passed away. He's doing okay. But Anyways, I have my problem with signs. Don't get me started. Kevin Sorbonne. Yeah. But Mel has lost his ever-loving mind. Now, he was always a little crazy. And then there goes to like, this is kind of like the white Australian version of what happened to Michael Jackson, if that makes sense. Like, too many people blowing too much smoke up your ass turned you into a cuckoo balloon. That's what I think. It was not Sandra Locke. Sandra Locke passed away a long time ago. This was his actual, real, current girlfriend. Clint Eastwood and Sandra Locke were not in a relationship together for a long time. You're disappointed in James Woods. Mel pissed us off years ago. James Woods has always been a dick. Even when he wasn't like a Trump dick, he was always a dick. Like, he was difficult and mean and kind of bitter and a pain in the ass. And I mean, he always played himself in stuff. Like every movie you see James Woods in, he's, they say that some actors are always playing themselves. That's not true of like Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is a very laid back, kind of quiet dude. He's not like a hardcore gangster like he plays all the time. He's not cruel in any way. It's just, but James Woods always plays kind of skeevy assholes. And like, he just walks into the room, I think, during casting, and they're like, oh my God, that's the guy. Like, I was writing, look, didn't I tell you? In the script, it says prick. And here he comes, right? So, this is, This is apparently Mel Gibson says he is ready, willing, and able to be the ambassador to Hollywood as an Australian immigrant. I don't know, why are these immigrants taking the jobs of American ambassadors? I don't know. What the hell? We need to seal the border with Australia. Just kidding, Australia. All right, here we go. We don't need to watch like very much of this because I imagine it's going to be a waste of fucking time and a jerk fest.
Anyway, here tonight, legendary actor, director, our friend Mel Gibson is back, who is out with a gripping new thriller.
Why must you always look panicked the minute the camera comes on?
I've liked every movie Mel's ever made, to be very honest with you.
You haven't seen all of them, asshole. There's no way he sat through Signs. There's no way he saw Apocalypto. There's no fucking way Sean Hannity sat through Apocalypto. I'm just calling it at that. Horseshit.
At the top of my list, The Passion of the Christ. Anyway, it's called Flight Risk.
Which you probably also didn't watch.
Sir, how are you? Great to see you.
Good, Sean. How are you doing?
I'm good. First of all, I'm really sorry for you, for all the people in California, all that you've had to live through.
He didn't know why he was sorry for that. Oh, right, I lost one of my houses. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no, I have a fucking house in Costa Rica with machine gunners around it. I'm not worried too much.
Also, congratulations on your appointment by President Trump.
Your appointment to something that isn't actually an appointment. It's just sort of an honorary, dickish, kiss my ass card.
Yeah, well, you come with nothing, you go with nothing. Everything in between is just a bumpy adventure, right, Sean? I'm living in gratitude. Trump's out. I found out I was some kind of ambassador at the same time as you did, probably on a tweet. So I was surprised.
With about as much depth of meaning.
But, hey, I'm ready, willing, and able to be of service in any way I can.
You know, you, Sly.
Okay, job number one. Stop making movies. Right.
And John Voight, three of my. I don't love a lot of people in Hollywood. I'm going to be blunt.
Fuck you.
But you're three of my favorite people out there and three of the best people in the industry. So I thought it was funny.
Based on.
When I read, you did not get a phone call about it. You just heard about it. I read.
It's not a thing, shithead. It's not real. We don't need ambassadors to the industry in the United States. Like, we don't have cultural ambassadors to our neighbors. What are you talking about?
I think it was a Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah. Well, I think Trump shoots from the hip, you know. And but hey, I'm here to be of service, you know.
Yeah. Good for you.
I don't know why you're asking me about this. This is dumb. I need to promote a movie. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what it means. Neither do you. Like, this is the face of somebody who's embarrassed by attention because he doesn't know what he can make of it.
And I know Sly feels the same way, and John Voight feels the same way as well. And I think the three of you actually can really help. The film industry has been hurt in so many different ways, in part because of rules and regulations and high taxes, like so many other liberal democratic states.
No. There are more tax breaks for film in California than there are any other industry. What are you talking about? It's nearly $1 trillion industry, stupid.
How bad has it been? You've been living through these wildfires. You read about.
No, he hasn't.
Hydrants that don't have water. You read about cutting firefighters' budgets. You read about reservoirs that are empty. I mean, it's got to be frustrating.
Reservoir, also localized, also fire hydrants that were not ready for the biggest fire in 100 years because none are anywhere in the entire country, nor shall they ever be because the amount of water pressure you would have to maintain in that circumstance would burst the fucking pipes.
Well, it is. And this confluence of events coming together, there are those who say, hey, they must have done it on purpose. I won't go that far.
Because you just bringing it up and letting it float is enough for the QAnon dipshits in the crowd of Sean Hannity's show. I won't say, some people are saying that, the Jews. But I won't go that far because I'll just let you guys do that for me. All I got to do is tip that little snowball and watch it just build and build.
But if they didn't do it on purpose, I think they certainly facilitated it. And
Then what's the difference? I don't think they caused the flooding. I just think they put a crowbar into the dam and wiggled it back and forth until it broke. Shut the fuck up.
You know, my heart goes out to all the other residents. You meet people all the time who've lost their homes, and you know, you talk and commiserate and buck each other up, and everyone's putting on a brave face. They're a good bunch out here. I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. You know, it's like Daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off. You know, so.
Why? Does he like to be choked when he masturbates? What are you talking about? Took his belt off. He can't find the buckle, you weirdo. Look out. Ready to take off my belt. Can someone point to me in general where it is? Shut the fuck up. Daddy's here and he took his belt off. Ew. And what's next? He's unzipping his fly? Where are you in this equation?
I think he'll get some results here quickly. And, you know, as far as being an ambassador goes, I think, you know, looking at tax incentives.
Hey, real quick, as an actor, you're probably aware of this, that the way you convey an emotion and the way you use your body, for example, conveys confidence or weakness in terms of what you're saying, the lines you're conveying. And in the case of a commanding character who believes what they're saying, they would look forward, sharing what they're saying directly with the audience, fearlessly. Whereas somebody who knows they're full of shit might back and forth like that, wouldn't you say? I'm just saying, you know, as an actor. It's just a note, maybe notes that I have some notes.
I know Newsom gave some tax incentives, but maybe not enough because it's still not working.
Maybe it's the right-to-work states that are undermining production and the actors and producers that take their productions to those states. Maybe that's part of the issue, too. But, hey, who am I?
And there are other things that offset that. I mean, I had to shoot a film for one day in LA, and it was cheaper for me to take the whole crew and fly them to Europe and shoot for 3 days, lodge them, fly them, everything, than it was to shoot one day just down the road. So,
yeah, but we're not. Okay, be specific. We're not talking about London. We're not talking about Paris. We're talking about those shitty little Romanian and Czechoslovakian, like Czech Republic towns where fucking Steven Seagal shoots his shit. You know why it's 3 times, cheaper? Because it's free. Shut up.
There's something wrong there. And I think there are solutions. I know Arnold tried to level the playing field years ago. He couldn't do it because there were obstacles. He tried, though.
All right. Every governor tries to guarantee that the film industry stays there. It's one of the linchpins of the entire California economy, stupid. It's what you're talking about is city council zoning. It has nothing to do with the fucking governor. And the LA City Council grew as dicks for a couple of decades trying to squeeze as much extra money out of the film industry as they could, and they went too far. And then they started to dial it back. That's how it works everywhere. How much can we get out of this? How much can we squeeze out of the industry? Oh, they're leaving. That's what happened.
Yeah. You know, I look at this and...
Neither one of them know why the fuck Mel is on. Sean Hannity has no fucking idea why he's interviewing Mel Gibson, except he likes to talk to him. And Mel Gibson doesn't know why he's even fucking there to talk on Sean's show other than to fill 7 minutes.
I mean, it kind of was a big deal, at least in my world.
Jesus Christ. Oh, all right. Yank. Boring. Boring. Can you imagine? Remember Trump avalanche winning bigly? Big, beautiful plan, golden age of America, and this is what these dickheads are yammering about. I'm telling you, Fox News, way more exciting and way more, I guess, financially beneficial when a Democrat is in office, clearly, because fuck. It's just like it goes back and forth from like, it's like Fox News right now is the world's most boring circle jerk. You need Stephanie, Joe, and Worley audio of boring. Boring! Right. Because seriously, they have no idea. All right, let me go to this next one, if I may. Pause, shut up, reopen. Okay. Well, let's, again, I don't know the direct conversation that's happening here. I don't pre-watch these videos. So I'm going to go with just Democrats bad. We'll just start from that baseline and build from there. That's the root of this shit right here. There you go. This is Jimmy Dore. Apartment complexes replacing burned LA homes. Okay, never mind the fact that assholes like this were clamoring about how we don't have affordable housing and there's not enough housing and there's never enough housing and there aren't enough housing and there's not enough housing. But let's see what the take on this shit is. Okay.
Hey, come see us on Cohoes, New York.
Don't care.
So they are trying to turn Altadena into a gigantic apartment complex.
According to Kevin Dalton, the Kevin Dalton at kevindalton.org, that's his opinion. As we start rebuilding, starting to relax some of the zoning laws, especially in a more working class neighborhood like Altadena, so that rather than putting up single family residences, we could allow developers to build duplexes and apartments. Okay. Yeah, you mean where there's more available and where people want to sell their homes and they don't have the money to rebuild, so they'd rather sell to a developer and move, and it's fucking Altadena.
So I know Altadena. I lived right down the street from Altadena for a decade. I lived in Pasadena.
Oh, the nice area. I see. So the working class area, that's not where Jimmy lived. Jimmy lived in Pasadena, where it's really fucking expensive. Weird.
And Altadena,
I guess that TYT money was the thing, right? Shit.
Yeah, was a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah, the was part is a big element here.
In fact, we would drive through it just to take a look at how beautiful it was.
Really? Really? You lived in Pasadena, but you would drive through Altadena just to see how beautiful it was, especially the areas closest to the freeway. Yeah. Which is, by the way, what they're talking about.
Because it was such a nice neighborhood. It really was. The houses were beautiful. The foliage, the lawns,
the foliage, or foliage, whatever.
Whole deal. And the streets, they weren't straight. They all were windy, and they had hills.
Yeah, the kind of roads that make it really difficult for a fire truck. That doesn't, as you say it, as that falls out of your fucking face, it doesn't occur to you that might have been part of the problem why the fire spread in the areas that it spread. Okay.
It was one of the most beautiful communities I've ever been in, Altadena. It was beautiful. And it wasn't.
Oh, by the way, Jimmy lives in a multi-million-dollar home in the Hollywood Hills, just so you know. Yeah. He's what we call a Marxist millionaire. Capitalism sucks, especially when, after you've already gotten inside the lifeboat and you've battened the hatches and pulled the ladder up.
Altadena, just to get to Altadena. The good Dina.
And it wasn't
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's trying to make I used to Pasadena to get to Altadena. Look at Kurt's face. He's sad he made that joke too. Okay, we're even.
It wasn't rich. It was just a nice neighborhood.
Well, get it out of here. We got Smart fire, 2028.
So guess what they're doing now?
Also, they don't have to get it out of there. It burned up. And it's not the whole thing. It's just the areas that burned.
Well, they're going to start relaxing the regulations. Well, here, let's listen.
But the most interesting element of my conversation with Mr. Giacoletti was when he talked about the possibility of, as we start rebuilding...
Hold on. I got to look up something. Giacoletti. Mr. Giacoletti. Los Angeles. I don't know. Westland, Joseph Scott. Nope. Giacoletti. Nope. I have no idea who he's talking about. Mr. Handyman. Joined by Newsom in Los Angeles. Nope. Okay, Mr. Giacoletti, we'll find him out. He's a mystery.
Starting to relax some of the zoning laws, especially in a more working-class neighborhood like Altadena, so that rather than putting up single-family residences, especially on parcels where people might not have the wherewithal to rebuild at all, we allow...
Well, that's a lot of caveats, wouldn't you say? People don't have the wherewithal to rebuild at all. And so we'll put up apartment complexes on those pieces of land and develop them so that we have more affordable housing. Seems oddly logical. Don't worry. Jimmy will turn it into a conspiracy, BlackRock something, Newsom's fault.
Our developers to start putting up duplexes and apartments. In other words, increasing density, but also increasing more housing.
Yeah, density and housing would be kind of the same thing. Increasing density and increasing housing. You wouldn't increase the housing. You would just go back to the same number that was there if you didn't build more. And they're not building luxury condos. They're building apartment buildings. They're going to build big apartment buildings on those areas. They're close to the fucking freeway. Hold on. Let me show you guys something. So that Jimmy thinks that like the people up in the fucking hills are going to lose their mega mansions on the edge of Altadena. Hold on. Let's see. I'll just do a map of it. So there we go. So here's Altadena. This is where the fires were. This was north of. Get out of here. So, here's, get out of here. Scoot over this way. What are you doing? So here's Pasadena. Here's Altadena. Now, this whole area here. Let's see if do they show Altadena? Is this? Yeah. Okay. So this is the officially Altadena along this area right here. Okay. This is all Pasadena. Okay. They're not talking about this down here. They're talking about the stuff along here and over here by the freeway where this jump part happened, where the fire jumped over here, near Spartan Stadium and all that stuff. The rest of this is there's almost no material difference beyond the working class aspect of however they want to do it. Up here where it gets really fucking hot versus over here. Let's see if I can bring up where the actual, Altadena fire area. So I could show you. Yeah, the Eaton fire, that's, okay, let's see. I need a map of it. Yeah, here you go. Eaton fire damage map. Super. Get out of here. Show me the map. It's thinking. There we go. Yeah, here you go. So, if you'll notice, in the Eaton area, the fire all happened up in the top over here, where this jump happened and this fire area happened. They're not talking about all the working class houses along here. They're all fine. It's all along this edge here. The only place they're really going to ease anything, or they could, is this area right here, which is large swaths of flat land and houses Like, there's some horse farms up in this way, but it's super fucking hot. It's super dry. It's super hot. And the one thing you could do, let's see if we scan in on this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Past Woodbury. There's the park. Right. Get back up in here. Maybe a little bit out. Just a touch. So, and by the way, it didn't just magically stop here. Hold on. I don't know why this barrier is here for Altadena, because it burns stuff over here too. But this is the Altadena heat and fire damage. So they just named it that. There you go. But this is the primary area, is what they're talking about. And most of the area, the schools are gone, the stores are gone. Even if people wanted to rebuild, there's not going to be any family services. There's not going to be anything, in this area for quite some time. So to get that back to there as fast as possible, one of the things you're going to do is put apartment buildings in. Like, the irony is that it's not going to move over here. There you go. It's going to have zero impact on these areas here. Like, they're not flattening fucking Altadena and turning it into a fucking giant apartment complex. This is all gone. And again, big stretches of dirt land between houses and that kind of stuff. He didn't go up in that part of Altadena. Again, there's no fucking way. Maybe, just maybe. Hold on, what the fuck? Get out of here. I hate when why do you do that? Where you close everything, like when you focus on one window? I hate that. Anyways, so this is all edge fires throughout here, okay? What Jimmy means when he says he drove through the nice neighborhood, he meant up into this area where the fancy houses are. He didn't go up there, he didn't hang out in the fucking, this area. He didn't, because there's no difference between this area and this area. Jesus. It's so stupid. It's making me want to vomit and being sick. Hold on. I'll open up my window again, which is where? There we go. Firefox. Open back up. Get back up there. There you go.
By the way, is that guy's hair made out of yarn? Anyway,
I was going to ask the same question.
It looks like his hair is made out of yarn. I've never seen someone with that thick of hair, but he does. But anyway, getting back to the point. So Altadena, so now they're relaxing zoning so they can put up apartment buildings in one of the most beautiful single-family residential neighborhoods I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah, Altadena, more like Gaza.
Okay, more like Gazadena. Get the fuck out of here. Secondly, no. Pasadena is far prettier than big chunks of Altadena. Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? And it's gone.
They're going to relax the zoning laws. It's cool. But
yeah. Altadena, the working class area of Altadena up near the Antelope Valley Ridge and all that shit the Eaton Wash and all that kind of stuff. That's basically like, probably the Jews forced people to live there.
And build whatever you want. We're chill about you turning.
Oh, fuck. He's reading off one of Kurt's jokes right now. Look at him. Look at him. Look at it. He's moved into, let's bring this up, and then I've got a joke written on my piece of paper right in front of me. I'll get to that eventually. Dude, you're a multimillionaire. You can't afford a fucking teleprompter to just throw the jokes into? For real. Just get a fucking scroll.
This quiet farming town into a cold East Ward.
Quiet farming town? What?
Germany.
Yeah, please do brutalism. That's my favorite. Wait, he was saying that as no. Oh my God, he was saying that he's not.
Okay, so they're making a joke about they're going to replace it with like Stalinist like blocks of apartments. The brutalism of the Soviet Union. We're going to just put people in cells and that kind of thing. Jesus.
Exposing a thing. He's saying this is a positive?
Yes.
He's saying that they can increase density.
Isn't that great?
I thought this was like a guy exposing. Oh man.
Well,
no. He He's of two minds about it. It's necessary. It might be the only solution to bring people back to that area, but it feels like exploitative. That is the general feeling about it. And it'll depend on whether or not people leave willingly and developers pay for the worth of the land once they can rebuild, if the people can get insurance or any of that thing, or if a developer gets insurance over, individual houses in that area, and if the developer can extrapolate their insurance over, multiple units, does that lower the insurance costs of people who want to rebuild their house in the area, which is entirely possible.
Here, well, listen, well, he does kind of say it here. Listen to this, Kurt.
Kinda.
Here he goes.
Right.
It just feels grossly opportunistic. Whether we're talking about
right. He's like,
the developers or rezoning an area that people wanted to live in because it wasn't a high density area.
Yeah, that's why people wanted to live there, because it wasn't a high density area. It's a single family, a home community, and it was beautiful.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is a defense of the suburbs concept. This is the idea that we don't need to build low-cost housing in the fucking suburbs. It ruins the suburbs for everyone. All those talking points that Donald Trump was putting out about building apartments in the suburbs and all that kind of stuff, and how the Democrats are attacking the suburbs. Remember that shit? Remember all that? Okay, that's this. That's what this is.
That's why people want to live there. Now they want to build apartment buildings. Here we go. Watch.
Those fuckers.
So she's right. It feels.
And also not apartment buildings. He's talking about duplexes and townhouses. They're not talking about giant fucking apartment blocks. And that's why they're saying relax the zoning a little. Like, do you not... fuck me.
Grossly opportunistic. Yes, it does. Let's watch.
Speaking with one housing analyst earlier, and I put the question to him. I said, quite simply, is this capitalism pure and simple, or is it heartless greed? The answer, yes.
What? I don't understand what slightly.
He means both. That's the point. He's trying. Kurt, you were shitting on him, and now he's kind of agreeing with your concerns. And you don't know how to readjust your pre-existing opinion of him, I think.
The better looking Bill Gates just said.
That's because you weren't listening.
Is it first of all, that sounds redundant. Is this just capitalism or heartless greed? It sounds redundant.
Okay, fuck you. You make money as a capitalist. Jimmy doesn't give his show away for fucking free. Tickets to Jimmy's shows aren't free. Get the fuck out of here. Stop it. Stop it. If all capitalism is heartless greed, then you can't sell tickets to your shows, or you're a heartless, greedy bastard. Well, I would argue that, you probably, in your case, charge tickets for people to leave, and that would be heartless and cruel. But fuck off with this. It's like, talk about virtue signaling. The fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's why they said yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's both.
No, about that thing, stupid.
And he still seems pretty happy about it.
He does.
Does he? Sorry, it was folks. Was that the takeaway, chat room? Did you take away from it? That guy was like, yeah. The answer was yes. Awesome. Who thought that about what he said? Anybody? Chat room. Anybody look at what that fucker was saying and think like he's he's jonesing for them to turn these houses into townhouses when they rebuild them? Anybody? No? It takes a minute for the thing to catch it. Like, what the fuck? So goddamn lazy.
I mean, so someone tweeted this out. This is new Altadena. Compliments of the Democrats. Going to be great.
Oh, somebody tweeted that out? Really? So that made it a thing, did it? It made it a real thing? Is that what it was? So that's the thing, is it? That's sorry, 1 second. I don't know why this is annoying me, but it must fix the thing. Did it go back up here? You silly thing. Go. Ooh, there you go. Goes here. There you go. These are like, I don't know, what, Poland or China or some shit like that.
What is that, the tofu buildings from China?
It looks like it.
So people criticize China, for, because there's a lot of scam buildings that are not made well that people want to flip property. But
no, that's not why. There's not a flip this house scams going on. All of it's built like shit, dummy. They're investment properties. And the only reason they have investment properties is because they're not allowed to invest in anything else.
The point they're missing when they criticize is these people have money to buy property there.
Yes.
Do you understand? I would love to get.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I've always wanted to build an apartment that I'll never get to live in. Invest in an apartment that I'll never be able to live in and never be able to sell because it falls apart before its completion date, if it's ever finished. It really is a dream.
We should all have the money to be scammed in a property thing.
I always
move there.
I always wanted to live in a city that looked.
Oh, he was reading another joke.
Like a warehouse full of shipping crates. So here's another. But they are building this. This is right. This is for real. I've seen there's some in
H2O H2O2 BLN something. Least better is okay. Like this building, 2 more same size behind this one, 7 more like it's being built in are being built in the San Fernando Valley. A lot of low income HUD housing and housing for illegals. The difference they didn't not pay is passed on to their neighbors, making the rent more expensive, taxpayers something. Oh, so this person who's posted this, who Jimmy, I guess, follows and sucks up to, is bitching that they're building HUD housing that look like that in the neighborhood, driving their rent up and filling it with illegals who don't pay rent. That's what this person who's tweeting is bitching about, which is why Jimmy is like, look at this. I agree with this angry lady racist person.
Burbank, which is right down the street from my house. They have huge things like this, the new housing, but they'll have a Whole Foods inside of it, so everybody's okay with it.
Oh,
it's like this.
And
so this person tweets out, like this building, 2 more the same size behind this one. There's 2 more.
Is this the first time he's reading this?
4 of these right behind it. 7 more like this are being built in the San Fernando Valley. That's according to this. I know that they build them in Burbank. I've seen it.
Oh my God! No apartment buildings in a city with 7 million people in the greater county area. What the hell? How in the world? Who are we going to fill them with? I mean, they're just building these things to remain empty. Isn't this motherfucker, does this asshole not understand how affordable housing happens?
Yeah, it looks like the airport. It probably feels great.
And there's a lot of...
It looks like airport probably feels great. Looks like an airport or the movie airport. What?
Low-income HUD housing and housing for illegals. The difference they do not pay is passed on to the neighbors, making their rent more expensive.
So my house...
Taxpayers show more. Like, this is a racist person bitching about illegals getting free apartments from the city or some nonsense. And he's just quoting it like fucking gospel.
Going, but I could live in a duplex with illegals whose rent is paid by my taxes. And
Jesus Christ. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the premier Marxist show on the internet. There is no one more progressive left, allegedly, than Jimmy Dore. He is hardcore lefty all the way. It's him, Russell Brand, Lee Camp, and I don't know, Alex Jones at this point. What the fuck does that label even mean? Dude does this show from the garage of his $1.5 million house in the Hollywood Hills, and he's bitching about them building more apartment buildings for the plebes. Jesus Christ.
Pay more of the rent than they have to. And also, they have my job because they don't want to pay me. They'd rather pay somebody.
Yeah, and hey, if you get rid of the...
Sorry, Kurt. You can be replaced by an illegal who, I guess, presumably doesn't speak English well. Look, I know this, and my audience knows this, that someone where English is their second language is definitely a better writer than you. That's just automatic. But it doesn't show a lot of confidence in your ability that you fear being replaced by illegals.
construction laws, those buildings could be built even faster, and you get rid of that.
Oh my God, he's reading more jokes off the fucking paper. You know what? It's bad enough the jokes suck. It's okay if jokes don't land if you didn't do that much work on them. But there's clearly a construction process going here, and we're watching it fall apart before our very eyes. It's fucking. I'm getting a cringe cramp.
The health department, and then you don't have to worry about plumbing.
Jesus Christ. That was the punchline? I don't even know where the fucking start of that shit was. What the fuck?
Yeah, and hey, if you get rid of the, construction laws, those buildings could be built even faster, and you get rid of the health department, and then, you don't have to worry about plumbing.
Yeah, and they're easy to lock down, I bet.
So Jim.
Well, sorry. So there won't be a health department. There won't be. But this is all Trump shit, by the way. I don't know why he would think the Democrats are going to get rid of the fucking health department or building codes around them. It's the development codes. And these are already pre-existing areas, anyways, where there was a populace. So you don't have to like rezone the entire thing for living. That's why it's a slight change in the zoning laws. But the fact that this motherfucker's going with basically the root of that joke, if I'm following it, is that these buildings are full of illegals who apparently just shit out a window and don't need indoor plumbing because gross or something. Fucking hell.
Are you just hyping this? Come on, is this real? This is already happening.
So fucking what? What do you mean? It should be taller, asshole. The only reason they build them that short is because of fucking earthquakes, and the old zoning around earthquakes is not caught up to the new zoning about like modern buildings and how resilient they are. and whether you can sell it or not. Good Lord.
And this guy is saying that they're doing it right now in Altadena. They're relaxing the construction.
No, they're not. No, he's not. That's not what he said at all. He said they're thinking about it. And it might mean, and it could be, and it's possible that
they're going to put apartment buildings in garbage.
No, townhouses
in Altadena. Well, guess what I found? This is from 2021. Governor Newsom abolishes most single-family zoning in California.
SB 9 allows up to 4 units on many single-family lots. That would be townhouses. That'd be 2-story townhouses. Let me show you something. Fuck this asshole. Oh, God. Let's see. No, whoops. Sorry. I can't type. Let's see. Where would it be? Technically, like West Hollywood, maybe. I want to see images. Front of the place. The front of the place. Yeah, there you go. So, what does this one have? It's on LoopNet, so I just want to see the... Okay, so let's give you an example. On Melrose in Los Angeles, this is a single-family dwelling lot that is now turned into a 4-unit apartment or townhome setup, whatever it is legally, whether you enter, quadruplex, you like 2 enter through the front, and then there's an alley or a short street behind it, and you enter in through the back, and that's, it's just a different entry for, your main entry for the house, or there's like a mini lobby and a flight of stairs. These things are all over the fucking place in Melrose. Right, and it's one of the reasons why Melrose and West Hollywood grew exponentially compared to other neighborhoods, because they allowed for this zoning. They allowed these single-family homes, when somebody sells it, to be converted into a 4-person or family unit. That's not weird at all. But what Jimmy is bitching about... Hold on, let me see if I can find a... Boink. I don't want LoopNet, you jerk off. I want residential. And the modern townhomes in West Hollywood Mountain District. Let's see what the thing. I want to see what the outside of the fucking place looks like. But yeah, here you go. This is what they're talking about too. Like these kind of single like corner lots and stuff have like apartments upstairs and an Equinox downstairs. These are single unit home areas. Like this is a single family lot right here, but they could turn it into a 3-unit. This is the Huntley Hotel, I think. They turned it into a hotel. But the idea is that you can build bigger facilities on these single family lots. So areas in Los Angeles where they've done that, it's been very successful, and it eases the cost of living. It lowers rents because there's more available rent space. They're really nice. They're very expensive too, but don't get me wrong. There should be more of them. It would drive the price down reasonably. But a lot of these places, let's see if I can, I wanted to find like kind of the front ones of these. Because this is, fucking LoopNet. I don't need you. There's a place on Willoughby. See if I can see the front of the place. Go away. I don't need to see the apartment building. I just need to see the place outside. Oh, yeah. Anyways, the point of these... Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't need to open up Zillow. The point is... yes, it does make East LA cheaper. It also makes every place cheaper. There are not enough living units in Los Angeles for the number of people who live and work there. Apartments are going to be people's entry, and townhomes are going to be their growth point, and then condos and single-family residences are going to be where they anchor. That's how all home buying grows over time. If you get, if you move to stay. Right? But there is a dearth of these mid-level houses, which drives all the mid-level people into the cheap housing. So you have people who can afford to pay $3,000 a month living in a fucking studio or a one-bedroom that should be for families that don't make a lot of money. It should be $1,500 for that, and there should be more units available for the mid-level people, but they aren't, and they got to be close to work, so they downscale into stuff that should be available for affordable housing for people. So you need to build more of these bigger apartment buildings for the people who are really on the edge of it, so they don't become homeless and they have a room to grow themselves. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know that backyard you always plan for?
Fuck me. He's reading more jokes. Look at the paper in his hand. Hold on. Now I got to grab this fucking article. Hold on. Gov. Newsom abolishes single family blah. Okay. California's, let's see. California's SB 9. You can kill single-family zoning, but you can't kill the suburbs. It'll take a lot more than California's historic duplex bill to make the state affordable. On Thursday, with the stress of the recall election firmly behind him, signed a bill, so obviously it passed the fucking legislature, that effectively abolishes single-family home zoning in the country's, in the country's largest state. Effectively, by the way, which is probably doing a shit ton of work. Regardless of local zoning, in an effort to increase the state's anemic housing production, open up high-opportunity neighborhoods, and lower rents and home prices. God for fucking bid. What an asshole. The law raises the possibility that many single-family homes currently protected by zoning could be replaced by 2 units, or even 4. What? If the owners split their lots and build duplexes on each half. Naturally, opponents of exclusionary zoning, a practice with a racist history that has severely curtailed housing supply in many California cities, taking the state's median home price north of $800,000, were really excited about SB 9. Hey, all the people who are trying to fight racist zoning rules are like this thing. Gee, I wonder why Kurt and Jimmy don't like it. Could be that they're scared of new neighbors. Mm-hmm. We're really excited. Local officials, homeowner groups in the California Republican Party threw a fit, and Jimmy Dore, with the anti-growth group Livable California decrying a luxury housing bill that destroys your neighborhood. A liberal glaze on the end of the suburbs, fear-mongering that Donald Trump attempted to deploy against Joe Biden last year. Symbolically, the passage of SB 9 is a huge deal in the national movement to break down the apartment bans that effectively segregate American cities and shows how far policy has shifted in the past 5 years. A handful of similar jurisdictions, included in the state of Oregon and places like Minneapolis and Charlotte, have taken steps in the same direction. On the ground, however, the reality will not be instant housing abundance or the destruction of the suburbs. And by the way, the fires themselves, that's why it would work in these areas, whatever. For better or worse, zoning is a powerful obstacle to denser, more affordable development, but reforming zoning can only do so much. That was the conclusion of this July study. So it's an attempt to remedy it, but it might not remedy it all, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Newsom abolishes most single-family zoning in California, which is, again, something that in theory this fuckwad would be for, if he actually gave a shit about affordable housing, for example, just as a baseline. Suck it. By the way, one of the best ways to keep rents high and keeps developers' profits high is to limit the building of more units.
Your kids to play with a dog in? Well, this place doesn't allow pets. And the kids can always sit on the patio and look across the street at other buildings.
One moment. Yes. Tell me about the hell of living in a place where people live in a building and look across the street at other buildings. Who in the world can live like that? No one would ever move to such a place. Yeah, that's true. Jimmy does. I don't know. Jimmy might have a dog. He doesn't have kids, though. You can tell by his, total lack of give a shit. But, you mean like Manhattan or fucking downtown Chicago or anywhere that... Ugh.
First of all, what do you mean, kids? Aren't you sterile? Did you not get your shots?
That's a anti-vax jab. No pun intended.
By signing Senate Bill 9 into law, Newsom...
By not vetoing the thing that passed that actually every Democrat in the state is for and makes total sense, where you don't have enough housing and rents are too high.
Open the door for the development of up to 4 residential units on a single-family lot across...
4 residential units. I'm going to guess that giant apartment building has more than 4 units in it. Fuck, this is dumb. Do you think he read this through?
California. The move allows a growing push by local governments to allow multi-family dwellings in more residential neighborhoods. Berkeley voted to eliminate single-family zoning by December 2022, and San Jose is set to consider the issue next month.
Yes, Berkeley, that Republican enclave. I mean, they call it the new Orange County, don't they? No, they fucking don't. By the way, Bernie Sanders would be for this. He is, actually.
This is from 2021.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we know. Back when you were probably for it before you decided to become a Trumper.
While opponents fear such sweeping change will destroy the character of residential neighborhoods, supporters hail it as a necessary way to combat the state's persistent housing crisis and correct city zoning laws that have contributed to racial segregation.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe read the article beforehand. Yeah. Yeah, you have found yourself on the side of the racist policies that segregated neighborhoods in Los Angeles for a long time, and yeah.
It's always you're a racist if you're against this.
Oh, fuck you. No. You're not a racist if you're against this. You can be against it for other reasons. You're just a racist because by default, I guess. Jesus Christ. This asshole doesn't, like, again, he didn't even read through it. He didn't even recognize this is something he and Kurt and everybody on there allegedly support.
Newsom previously had shaken up single-family zoning.
It's weird that he talks like a multimillionaire that lives in the Hollywood Hills, isn't it? Isn't that strange? That's weird. Of all the people, you know? It's like him and Hassan and, yeah, a good time. Oh, did we lose a troll? Did they bow out? I gotta say, the trolls don't have the same resilience they used to have. And I want to thank the trolls and maggots that are here. Thank you for being here, because you spread us out into the interwebs in a way that we don't otherwise. And everybody on Rumble, thank you for watching.
By signing legislation that allowed more homeowners to build in-law units on their properties. SB 9 takes that further, allowing property owners to build up to 2 duplexes on what was once a single-family lot. Slow growth group Livable California,
which is like all of Trump's donors,
which is pushed back against SB 9, called it a radical density experiment and worried developers would...
Yeah, they're going to push these brown people right up next to me. Fuck that, saith Jimmy and Kurt.
Use it to remake neighborhoods without community input.
How's it an experiment if we know the results will be it will suck?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is... I mean, I would argue that this asshole still thinks he's progressive or left or something. But they're literally making the NIMBY argument against letting, people who can't afford their own house to buy a condo or rent one, rent a townhouse in their neighborhood. Fuck you. All right. Anyways, moving on, because I can't fill out this whole thing. There was real quick. This was
God
funny.
is still using his people to heal. It's not on CNN. It's not on Fox. It's not on. They're not. But I think they heal 25,000 kids a year.
Really? Trump has just cut their funding. So hold on one second. Let me open this up. Theater mode. Cure is the somebody. Okay, this is a fundraiser. There's an ad before a show. This is Eric Metaxas' ass. And this is it possible to be joyful on the Trinity Broadcasting Network? Well, if you can't be joyful, obviously you're spitting in the face of Christ, dum-dum.
Axis, and this channel exists to bring you a biblical perspective on today's news, culture, and hot-button issues.
Which is give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and my kingdom is not of this world. Okay, we're done. If I may. That was easy. All right, now... the
Martin Luther King...
Shut up. So the MLK and JFK files came out. Oddly enough, not the Epstein. It was very strange. Do you notice that too? Is it just me? That they were like, oh, cool. JFK, MLK, and Jeffrey Epstein. Where are the Epstein files? Why are they? I'm convinced that Jeffrey Epstein killed JFK and Martin Luther King Jr., and I would like to see his file just to make sure. It's almost as if he's releasing these to cover for the fact that he's not releasing the Epstein files. Do you think this dickhead will bring that up? You think he'll bring up the whole Epstein files thing? That he's not releasing those? Isn't that weird? Yeah, sure.
The Martin Luther King family has reacted to Trump's executive order, and as has the JFK family. They both say...
You mean the families of the people who were actually murdered?
Hey, this is a political stunt. I don't know how it's a political stunt. It was supposed to come out in 2027. No, it was supposed to come out when? In the teens, the 20-teens, and then it kept being delayed. Then Donald Trump delayed it last term. Joe Biden, he might have...
I think because the files include stuff about possible affairs and shit like that.
thought he was JFK for a while. I'm not really sure, or Martin Luther King.
That's a old guy joke, apparently.
And then it's come up again, and people are tired of secrets.
Waiting for the Epstein files? I agree.
And
yeah. Whoa, wait, what? Hold on.
And then it's come up again, and people are tired of secrets.
Oh, they are they? They're tired of secrets? Like the entirety of the Epstein files? Like that secret? You're fucking A right, I'm tired of that secret. Why aren't you, Glenn? Are you in it? Huh? Is that why? I mean, I can't think of a reason. Like, I don't know anybody in my chat room who doesn't want those things released. I want them released. I know I'm not in them. I can only think of one reason why people would actually do this, I suppose, and hold back those files, right? That would be the thing. The only reason you'd want to hide them is because you're in them. Yeah? Okay.
And so Donald Trump said he would start releasing some of the secrets that should be released, and
some of them. People are tired of some of the secrets, then, I guess.
A few of those are the RFK files, the JFK files,
and not the Epstein files,
and the MLK files,
and not the Epstein files.
So what do they say? Ooh. Well, the Martin Luther King family, they'd like to see everything first. Well, I don't know if you get that privilege, but okay. Why?
Well, because they're related to the victim.
Do you happen to remember what was said about these files last time? Last time they were about to come out, the guy who is the Martin Luther King authorized biographer has come out and said really bad things are in this file. We all know that he was a philanderer. And, I have to tell you, as I get older, I have more tolerance for people.
For philanderers?
People who did amazing things. Because perfect people aren't the ones that usually stand up and say, I'm going to risk my life for that cause.
Jesus Christ. And so that's why you're okay with the release of the Epstein files. Because you could forgive all the shit that he did. Jesus Christ.
Perfect people are usually the ones that are like, no, I've got way too much to lose here. Martin Luther King was not...
Sorry. Trump only took on the great job of being president because he's got nothing to lose but 60 pounds and a couple of points off his cholesterol?
Not the first guy that was approached to lead this movement. Just like Rosa Parks wasn't the first one on the bus. The second one was the first one was too flawed. She was a teenager that was pregnant, and they didn't think that she would garner enough sympathy. The other
little did they know that years later, Glenn Beck wouldn't have sympathy for either.
Pastors that were approached to lead this movement all said, I got way too much to lose. No. They knew what it meant. Martin Luther King was the first one that stood up. And I think the same could be said for Donald Trump. He's not a perfect guy.
Yeah, how dare you?
But he's the first one that would say, yeah, I'll risk my life for it.
No, he isn't.
I'll do it. I'll stand. I mean, who else?
I don't know, Rick Santorum? Everybody else who ran when he ran? What the fuck are you talking about? Nikki Haley? What are you talking about? Everybody who's ever run for president? Jesus Christ. Whatever the dude who called, D's nuts, who was getting on the, I think we all need to stand for D's nuts.
Gets up from an assassination and looks at the crowd and says, fight. That's
especially when the shot came from a supporter.
Pretty amazing.
It's reactive and stupid, and it means you think that they've killed the person that did it, and you don't think you are or don't care whether you endanger other people there, that there might be a second shooter there because you're stupid.
So they're not perfect people. But Martin Luther King...
but in his imperfection, I think he could release the Epstein files, and we'd all feel better about it.
We know he was unfaithful, but apparently what is in this file is really not good.
Yeah, that's one way to state it. Mm-hmm.
First, it looks like there's an FBI letter that was trying to blackmail Martin Luther King, so something bad on the government, trying to blackmail him and say, basically kill yourself or this is coming out. But then there is...
Sorry, is that MLK's fault?
Martin Luther King, so something bad on the government, trying to blackmail him and say, basically kill yourself or this is coming out. But then there is information on intimate relationships with at least 3 women, one in Atlanta, one in Mount Vernon, one in New York, one in Washington, D.C. Another memo refers to a recording where King looked on, this is according to his biographer, where King, quoting, looked on and laughed as the pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church allegedly raped a woman in the Willard Hotel.
Now, that story's been around for a long time.
Now, that pastor died in 1991, so there's no way to verify the...
Right, but it's good of you to bring it up, and that's maybe why the family was against it coming out, because it's unverifiable and...
FBI's information. It's not clear whether the agents involved were transcribing the true reality of his private life or
creating it.
Creating gossip. We don't know. But...
And they did,
we'll see.
Obviously, try to hurt him and his reputation. That's kind of known and has been known for a long time. The question is this stuff true? I mean, as you point out, the guy who came out with this information in 2019, I think it was, is a very reputable guy, again, Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer, right?
Right, and authorized by the King family. So this is the guy who the King family has...
Yeah, we get that. What the fuck does this have to do with what was just released? Does it verify it, or does it does it codify it, or does it clarify whether or not it was made up and just used to blackmail, or if the members of the FBI were trying to go after him, which makes them look bad, or is it supposedly true and it went after him? And if you can't tell either one, if there's no way to parse it out, there's no witnesses left to talk about it. What's the point?
Said is credible.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe this lands in any other place than them saying, well, the government did this. And, they're going to deny it, I think.
Right. Does a tape exist? The letter is 500 words, claims to be from an African-American who supported the civil rights movement. It was, however, we know, written by the FBI. It accuses King of immoral conduct lower than that of a beast, I'm quoting, and a giant liability to all of us Negroes, quoting.
So, real quick, while you're on that topic, this kind of works. I think this is important. So, unverifiable, but out there. Let's say, I don't know, let's say there was witnesses or someone, let's see, like somebody comes out and says that they were sexually assaulted by Donald Trump, for example, and they're a living witness, and they are coming forward, and then they get threatened because they were a child when it occurred, and they remain a Jane Doe, and so they fled and now fear for their life. What about that, for example? Like, does that matter? Do you think that would be in the Epstein files? Because it is. Let's see. Yeah. So.
I figured that one was a quote, Glenn.
Yeah,
you didn't have to tell us that that wasn't you.
I wanted to make sure. It encourages.
Unless I don't know something about your background, I don't know.
It encourages King to listen to an endorsed and enclosed tape. So we don't know if the tape exists. The writer tells King it's all there on the record. Your sexual orgies. Listen to yourself, you filthy, abnormal animal. You are on record. You have been on record. All of your adulterous acts, your sexual orgies extending far into the past. But this one is but a tiny sample. You have 34 days in which to do ... There is only one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation. So, it's not going to make the FBI look good, and it may not make Martin Luther King look good.
Again, a tape there that doesn't exist that allegedly they played for him of, I guess, people having sex would be the theory, threatening that if he doesn't do something in a short period of time, specifically kill himself, then they are going to expose him. He did not kill himself, and they did not expose anything. This is garbage. He was murdered. The reason people are interested in these files is who killed him? Is it true? Like, is the case about who killed him honest? Was it a lone gunman situation, or were there conspirators? That's why any of these matter.
The other one, too, Glenn, you mentioned the affairs, which are well known, right?
Yeah.
The biographer says, it's been well known for 35 to 40 years that there have been multiple other girlfriends. I always thought that there were probably 10 or 12 over the course of 4 to 5 years. This new material makes clear.
RFK Jr. is I think he's doubled that number in just just during his presidential run.
That the total is more like 40 to 45.
Wow.
I mean, it's getting a lot of work done there. You're a busy bee.
Yeah.
40 to 45 plus the civil rights stuff. Wow,
that's a lot.
It's a busy schedule.
Wouldn't you have time to eat?
Right.
Yeah. The 32-year-old grandson of JFK made an announcement yesterday about JFK's assassination file being opened. He said that this is nothing more than a
read it. Words on page, read it.
Grand scheme. Let's see here.
Grand scheme.
Yeah, he said there is no grand scheme to kill the president, JFK. And this scheme is just being a political prop, using John F. Kennedy as a political prop for Trump.
How?
I don't know.
It's hard to even.
No idea.
To distract from the Epstein files and other shit that he knows he won't get done, like lowering the price of eggs and all the stuff he ran on, and that his roundup of immigrants is kind of an equal number to what we saw with Operation Return to Sender, in 2007.
Hard to even understand the lot. I mean, look,
it's hard to understand Glenn reading things, Stu.
Why would you not want to know this? What year is this? It's 2025.
Yeah.
This happened a long time ago.
Right.
It's about time we know what actually went on there.
Yes.
And look, there's going to be, I'm sure, some bad things. Some things that probably look good for these guys, and some that look bad. But
who cares?
Who cares? Like, they're historical figures.
Just want the true history. That's all I want. That's all.
I don't know. I'm not interested in the true history. Here's what I need to know. Was it Oswald working alone, or were there people helping him? And is there any genuine evidence that he was helped or he was supported by anybody else that that we haven't heard already? That's it. I don't need to like get into the maybe he had it coming bullshit, which is where they're going.
Costner's already done a movie about it. It's time to find out what's going on.
Right. And I mean, if you want the country to survive, you have to be transparent.
Let's see. I got Boonk. Where's that guy? Why would that picture show up? Hold on one second. It'd be on this. Okay, here we go. Let me open this guy up. And grab in here. Sorry. You want what? If you want the country to survive, you what? Oh, hey, look at this. Wait a second. That's awesome. Look at this. Hold on, we'll move this down here if we can, just like this. Just keep scrolling. Put this behind here and there. And then under here, we go to this, and we go to filters, and we turn on chroma key. And look at that. There you go. Stu's wearing the truth sweater. Isn't that fun? That's so cool. Look at you. It's nice. It's kind of a distressed looking version of it. Isn't that awesome? Hold on, now I've got to do this on so that people on Instagram don't get confused about what the fuck's going on. Let's see. We'll go into here and we'll go to images. Just let this here there. Okay. Sorry, what was the name of that one? Yeah, okay, it is Jumbo Web app. Okay. Images. There it is. Look at that guy. People are tired of secrets. Aren't they, Instagram? It's just terrible how all the secrets. Just the nerve of the fucking secrets and the secrety people. Hold on, let's scroll this down. There we go. Put that there. Excellent. And then we'll move that over here and shrink it down so that Stu can properly represent. There we go. That's the way to do it, Stu. Now you're wearing the special Trump Epstein hoodie on both channels. I love it. I'm for it. Go for it, man. Way to sell it. Now, sorry, you were saying something before I got distracted in this.
All I want. That's all I want.
Costner's already done a movie about it. It's time to find out what's going on.
Right. And I mean, if you want the country to survive, you have to be transparent.
I agree.
want to know all of the things, even if everybody is pardoned. I want to know who is involved in the January 6th thing. I want to know all the facts.
Sure.
Even if we can't put anybody in jail. I want to know all of the facts on...
I don't think he's going to say Jeffrey Epstein. We'll see.
On the Russia thing.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
The Joe Biden...
Oh, the Joe Biden thing. And then there's one more.
We have to expose these things.
Yes, there's one thing we've got to expose, and there's a thing, and it's right there. And what?
I want to know who hid and how they hid Joe Biden's mental decline from the American people.
Big time.
I want to know that. I want to invest.
Super important. Even though he's not president anymore, and he did just fine. He passed an infrastructure bill, and Trump couldn't even manage to get one written up. But there's something else. What is it? There's something else that should be the transparency.
Those people should go to jail because I don't think they've been pardoned.
No, that's true. Exactly. It needs to be investigated. We need to know how far that went.
Yeah.
Is this why? This is one of the reasons it feels like to me, hearing you over the years, that you put together the museum.
Yes.
Right?
The museum? Fuck are you talking about? The museum. What, the Epstein Trump Museum? What do you think?
To unearth stuff like this, even if good or bad.
Yes.
Either way.
Right.
Mostly bad.
American people deserve to know the truth.
Hello. You have to know the truth, and especially
you got to know the truth. I agree. You do. Yeah.
The dark side of ourselves. Otherwise, there's bitter and sweet.
There is bitter and sweet, and in life you must season with both.
I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about AI.
The Epstein files?
And AI is offering us a perfect world.
Okay, I think this is probably going to be sarcasm.
Okay, that's what this is going to be, a perfect life. The Garden of Eden, it already existed, okay? And we gave it up for knowledge of good and evil. There is opposites to everything.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I'd done that. You guys remember when you did that? We did that. Yeah, I forgot when we did that. Like, how long ago did we do that? It must have been weeks.
Good, evil, pleasure, pain, all of that.
Epstein.
And you have to have both sides. Otherwise,
no, you don't.
You don't know really what you have.
That's right. If we don't have a crook in the White House, how will we appreciate when we don't have one? That's why we need Trump in there.
So right now, Americans haven't seen a lot of pain in our lives. I mean,
fuck you.
You know, whatever you're going through might seem like a lot of pain, but as a country, nothing like the Great Depression, nothing like World War II. We haven't experienced that. So
AIDS and COVID would like a word.
We don't really appreciate what we have.
Jesus Christ. That's why we elected Donald Trump, who's a complete dipshit, to run something that's very important.
We have to know both sides. And
what?
You know, when it comes to Martin Luther King.
What about when it comes to Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, you tit?
That's a holiday. We took away the Abraham Lincoln holiday and the George Washington holiday to make it.
No, we have President's Day, so we can celebrate all of them. We have a lot of them.
A combined holiday for presidents Which presidents?
All the ones we like and none of the ones we don't.
And then gave Martin Luther King his holiday. Okay, was that right? Was that a mistake? I don't know. Let's just know who we're holding up here.
Jeffrey Epstein. You're holding up Jeffrey Epstein as a paragon of virtue because Donald Trump was his buddy.
And that doesn't mean that his ideas of America, live up to your promise, isn't important. It's probably more important now than ever before.
Yeah, it's certainly way more than in the late 60s, because nobody really gave a shit back then about it.
Because the people who have been oppressed in the past are being convinced that you're still oppressed.
Yeah, and you're not. Quit it, okay? Okay, stop your whining.
And now the only way to not be oppressed is to
release the Epstein files. No, that's not it. Sorry.
Take Martin Luther King's message and flip it upside on its head and say you've got to be a racist to be an anti-racist. The only way to fix racism is to engage in racism. These are important conversations for us to have.
And they're really great if we're trying to avoid talking about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and the fact that Donald Trump was friends with both of them for 2.5 decades, a full decade after he lied and said he no longer hung out with them.
And I, for one, applaud the president for doing this, and I think we should get all of it.
All of it, including the Epstein files.
Absolutely, all of it. And I hope it doesn't stop here.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, asshole. You totally hope it stops at Epstein. You don't need that shit at all. All right. Real quick, we haven't visited this guy in a long time, and he was scared until Trump got reelected to put out clips, mainly because of how I handled him. It's Bongholio, ladies and gentlemen, the guy whose show is held afloat on Rumble almost entirely by Iranian bot farms. I have this on good authority. He's got 289,000 followers, and almost 6 of them are Americans. And this is breaking JFK files released. Here we go. This is the stuff we got. And the important thing to remember is that Bongholio is very excited. These are finally being released as a distraction from the fact that he's not releasing the Epstein files.
Here's a video of Donald Trump saying he's going to release these. I want to discuss a very specific problem with it, though.
Well, you're not going to show the Fox and Friends clip where he says he's not going to release the Epstein stuff, are you?
Because Tulsi Gabbard at the ODNI, Director of National Intelligence, has not been confirmed yet. So we have a problem. If you listen to some of the Mike Benz, Mike Benz, our deep state specialist, if you listen to some of his audio on his X feed, he was doing a bunch.
Yeah, no, just tell us.
Bunch of interviews, and he was saying that the person in charge right now at the.
Are you sick? What is he? Did he overdo it? Did he get acid reflux from the chocolate cake at Mar-a-Lago?
ODNI acting is basically a DEI person who is a holdover from the prior administration. So if she's responsible for the declassification, ladies and gentlemen, good luck on what you're going to get. I'll tell you what I heard. I'll tell you what I think they're hiding.
Great. Awesome. And you got 5 minutes. Hit it.
And I'll tell you why it matters, most importantly. This is a very sensitive topic for me. Check this out.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And there's no Epstein at all in this? There's no Epstein, right? Don't hand me another folder that says Epstein release of video and audio. I don't want to... all the materials seized at Little St. James, that's not in this, right? Don't make me read it. You're not fucking with me, are you?
Big one, huh?
That's a big one, huh?
People are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Yes, and boy, are they going to be disappointed.
And everything will be revealed.
Now.
Everything except the Epstein files, that's obviously.
Everything will be revealed. I sincerely hope that happens. Folks, the issue we're going to have is the person in charge now, before we get Tulsi in there, is definitely a Biden holdover who has an interest, like some deep state people, one of them being Mike Pompeo. I thought he was one of us. He's not one of us. In keeping these things secret. Here's the question, I believe the big question about the
Okay, get to it. Here's a big question. Well, why doesn't the deep state want this released?
Classification, specifically of JFK,
Mhm.
RFK, and MLK.
Specifically of the three that were in that executive order, sure.
Was the government involved in using these people for specific propaganda efforts and manipulating them through CIA folks or other intelligence people? Like I said, when we were in training, we were told it was.
And then they ran out of use for them and just had them killed, or they killed them for that purpose?
Just Oswald. Not that I necessarily believe that. But I want you to listen to Pompeo. This is an excellent interview. Pompeo, who has zero interest in getting this stuff out there. He was the director of the CIA, sex state, right? Here he is.
Yeah, Trump put him in there.
It's with John Stossel, who's a libertarian. And Stossel's like, hey, man, this is 60 years ago. Like, are we going to release this information or what? I want you to listen to his words very specifically.
He says there's people still alive that are affected by it or some shit.
Because he says there are still some issues outstanding, even though it's 60 years ago, that could impact us right now. I think he's talking about some sensitive CIA programs that may involve some pretty significant information.
Oh, Jesus. Are we going like MK Ultra?
However, we need to see it. It's been 60 years. This is how conspiracy theories flower when the government hides information. Check this out.
No, it doesn't. They don't flower because the government hides information. You know how I know? Because they hide information all the time for national security reasons, and you just agree with it because it's actually functional secrecy. It's just that these rolling bullshit stories just like grew off the chain since the fucking 60s, and there's a conspiracy industrial complex out there making a living off of it.
Why'd you fight to keep the JFK files secret?
Because I was trying to keep Americans safe. And by the way, don't paint with too broad a brush. 99.6% of the JFK files are public today.
But it was 60 years ago.
John, not everything was 60 years ago. And I don't want to spend a lot of time walking through this, but suffice it to say, the definition of a document covered by this statute that you're referring to, it's a little bit wonky, but suffice it to say, if Congress holds a hearing tomorrow on the Kennedy assassination, the documents generated tomorrow will be part of those files. Those would be tomorrow, they'd be 60 seconds old, not 60 years old. And last thing I'll say is there are things that happened 60 years ago that are still important to keep in the vault. There are lots of things that happened that long ago that still are appropriate not to release.
That to me confirms it, that there
are things from 60 years ago that are still smart to fuck you.
Some deeper level of CIA involvement here that the United States government is unwilling to tell us.
Or God forbid, he actually, I don't like Pompeo, he's an asshole, but for fuck's sake, maybe he meant it?
Is it the CIA's role in the assassination? The answer, folks, is I don't know.
Right. So, but don't let that stop you from talking out of your ass until the files are available to you, and I believe they are already.
My suspicion is probably not.
Great. I'm glad I hung in there.
That the CIA, I believe, and we'll see when it comes out, and I'm applying the Bongino rule here, so I want to just be candid with you. I'm
What's the Bongino rule? You don't like to read?
Speculating.
Somebody else is going to have to read this to me, and I don't trust anybody. So just because they read something to me doesn't mean I believe that it was actually on the page, because these fuckers around here will tell me anything because they think it's hilarious.
But listening to and having read a bunch of material on this because it fascinates me, my suspicion is that although the CIA may not have been involved in the actual trigger pulling incident, that the CIA may have known more than they're letting on, and they don't want to shock the conscience of the American public by releasing that all, because it's going to basically rewrite history.
No, it isn't. First of all, you have to trust what was written by the CIA to believe what happened according to the CIA anyways. What are they going to do? Release a congressional report that was hidden that points to the CIA, somebody coming forward and saying it was true, and then the CIA denying it? For fuck's sake, that's the issue with this shit. It was 60 years ago.
And, of course, there's another theory out there. I saw a couple...
Oh, boy, here it comes.
A couple people on X saying, hey...
that Jeffrey Epstein killed JFK? I believe that. I think that's true. I would like to see the files. I mean, I don't want to say I don't know, because I do know. I have a good authority that Jeffrey Epstein was on the grassy knoll. He was one of the 3 men there, maybe all of them. I would like to see the paperwork on Jeffrey Epstein to make sure we know exactly where he was in Dallas on that day.
It's a big nothing burger. They're going to release it and you're going to find out nothing. Personally, I doubt that. My experience with the government.
Great. Well, I think we're all just so excited about your level of doubt. It makes great programming. Again, can I point to the fact that these motherfuckers have gotten so boring since Trump got elected?
Is that they don't dedicate an extreme amount of resources to keeping secrets secret if they don't have something to hide. I told you, I remember when I was an agent, I got sent over to Afghanistan. And they brought me in, and I was doing the lead advance, and they made me sign an NDA. It was like we were in the skiff, and it was all like deep six and stuff. Like, oh, we're going to Afghanistan. Obama's going to land in a war zone. You know, make sure nobody knows. Don't tell your wife you're going to Hawaii or something like that for a mission. And I get out in the parking lot. A guy calls me on the phone. He goes, hey, I heard you're doing the lead for Afghanistan. What I'm getting at is the government has a really hard time keeping secrets. Why have they exerted so much?
What, hold on. From who? Your friends? Also, who was on the fucking phone? If you had clearance, that guy did. Were you just using a cell phone you bought in the fucking town square?
Effort to keep this secret. There is something there that involves the CIA, clearly. And I think it's what they knew and what they let happen rather than...
Oh, God. Yeah, that's what it was.
What they did. So that was a clip from the Dan Bongino show. You can...
Yeah, it was super exciting, bro. That was just, I don't know how you put that kind of energy into a show every single day, Bongholio. It's, you must be exhausted. Maybe that's why, maybe you were just tired from all the other great shows you were doing that day. Okay, real quick, in line with our Jimmy Dore is a dipshit, one of his follow-up guys is this dude Lee Camp. Remember Lee Camp? Lee Camp used to be an alleged progressive. He's what we would call a faux-gressive around here. People who hate progress so much, they call themselves progressives. I don't know, maybe they're just shilling for the insurance company, but this is secret giant U.S. base. Oh, shit. Hold on. And it's a secret giant U.S. structure in Lebanon. What's their plan? What? Oh, my God. A secret giant U.S. base in Lebanon? What kind of that? When did they start building this crazy thing? Who here, chat room, who thinks this is going to be kind of a pile of shit and kind of an obvious, like somewhere between Baghdad's green zone, kind of a building that they build in dangerous areas and they have to create it more like a fortress because it's not safe. And so it's a little bigger than usual, and you can basically, you have fallback buildings. Anybody? All right. How some of us ladies want you to continue the facial hair. Okay. We shall see what we shall see. I'll see what I can do. I don't want to end up looking like this asshole, though. Okay, so here we go.
Here is Craig Murray. I'm going to jump around in this 15-minute video.
Why does he look more like Ficus than I do? Hey, man, we look like we could be related. Is that because you, like, lean in on your Camry or something? Shit. What is happening there, buddy? Buddy-ro. Bladum. It's just me?
Video he put it up. He has been awesome. He's been awesome on Julian.
He's so awesome.
Assange and everything.
What? What the hell is that? Well, what the hell is that? What in the hell is that? Hold on, I gotta turn off the Epstein window on this thing. I need a button for that. Okay, there we go. What in the hell is that? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Else, always good to listen to what Craig Murray's saying.
Always.
Fabulous. Overlooking the construction of the new United States Embassy complex here.
Oh, so it's a giant, the secret giant structure is the U.S. Embassy? Huh. How do people go to the embassy if it's a secret? Like if they have meetings there or the locals are they have anybody gathering there. It's a secret building. Is it invisible to the naked eye? Do you have some sort of a filter on?
In Beirut. What you're saying there, that massive range of buildings, that's only a part of it. That's about a quarter of the new complex. It's being built here. That is the second.
Fabulous. And it looks, look, it's got a water park. You can see that part right there, whatever, and then you slide down here and you end up in that little area. That's super cool. Or whatever. Where I don't know, when did they put in the tilt-a-whirl?
Largest embassy in the world.
The second largest embassy in the world. I think the biggest one is the Green City in Baghdad, I bet, or the Green Zone in Baghdad. I bet it's that. And then, yeah. And then, like, our Beijing embassy's got to be up there. So is Russia's.
Of any country, anywhere in the world. The second largest embassy in the world.
Right after the Green Zone, which is why it's built like that, because it's a fortress. It's not just an embassy.
It's being constructed here in Beirut by the United States.
Well, I'm glad we're building it because it's theirs.
And we can't find out officially from the State Department, but we understand that the complex is built to house 5,000 staff.
Okay. What's the big deal? The vast number? Is that a huge number for you, or is it you want to know whether it's 4,700 or 5,200?
I used to be an ambassador. I know what an embassy does. Their basic
Excellent
functions of an embassy.
Yeah, but you're clearly an English ambassador, so not quite the same thing.
It can run political relations with the country. It issues visas.
Sure.
It can do press and public relations. It can administer aid. It can do defense cooperation. And most embassies have an intelligence section.
Right. Yeah, that would require a lot of space in the modern world, I would think.
That is not an embassy. That is something 50 times the size of what an embassy would be in a country like this.
Fabulous. It looks fantastic.
50 times the size of an average embassy. This is in Beirut.
Yeah, but in D.C., for example, the average embassy is an apartment flat.
Lebanon, that the U.S. has been constructing for years.
Yeah, 2017. They started building in 2017.
And he goes on to talk about the sheer number of staff. He calls the embassy to see if they'll answer questions, and it's an automated list. Push number 1 for this, number 2 for that, number 3 for USAID. And he says no matter which number you push, when you push it, it just goes, goodbye. Which, amazing.
Well, you could show that part, I guess, instead of telling us so that we know what the fuck you're talking about. Maybe it's because it's not done yet?
Amazing way to handle that, U.S. government.
Maybe they're calling the wrong place?
Well done. Well done on that.
Diplomatic list for the United States of America. These are always public information. They're public under the Vienna Convention. And they list the diplomatic staff of every embassy in the country. So you can, for example, look at the embassy of Lebanon in the United States and see how many staff it's got. And it has 7 diplomatic staff. And it also...
Right, they're all in an apartment.
It lists their spouses. It's a list of everybody with diplomatic immunity. That's why it's published under the Vienna Convention. The embassy of the United Kingdom to the United States of America is one of the world's larger embassies. It's an embassy between 2 of the wealthiest countries in the world, 2 of the top 8 economies.
Great.
And as you'd expect, there are a lot of diplomats there handling relations.
Yeah, sure.
And it runs to, I think, 120 names, many of whom have spouses.
So he said 100.
Good for them.
120 in that embassy. Earlier on the video, I don't know if you caught it, the U.S. has said how many staff are in the U.S. embassy in Beirut? 5,000.
They didn't say that. He said he couldn't confirm it. Did I not watch the same video you watched? You're playing it.
5,000. He goes on to list the numbers in other embassies, and the max is like 200 people. And yet there's 5,000 in this
Yeah, then tell us about the one in Baghdad and understand that Lebanon is in flux.
massive complex in Beirut.
By the way, this has nothing to do with the real story about what's going on here. Like, talk about totally burying the lead.
And it raises the question, what in God's name is going on in Beirut? What is the U.S. planning?
Let me come on to this question of the American embassy that's being built here, because we've been and looked at it as close as you're allowed to get to it. And it's plainly not an embassy, whatever it is. This is plainly something else. What is it? Why is it so big? And how much do you know about it?
Oof. How much do I know about? How much do all of the Lebanese know about? It's like the biggest non-secret over here. They started building it a few years back, and the mass scale of it is like it's scary. It's the second largest U.S. embassy in the world after the one that they have in Iraq. So to have the largest embassies in the world stationed in the Middle East, that tells you how important the Middle East is for them. Now, when it comes to Iraq, it's for military purposes.
Like Russia's biggest ones are in Mexico and Beijing. What does that tell you about Mexico?
Because it joins the three countries that they want to control or attack. So you have basically Iraq, you have Syria, and then you have Iran. Those are close proximity. And then you have Jordan, which is an allied state to them. In Lebanon, it's a different
and Israel
case scenario. They need it for logistics, for torture, for interrogation.
Yeah, you don't need a big space for torture, right? Didn't they just use some of the old structures there in Iraq?
Support their espionage missions across the region. And this is the only country, not only in the Middle East, but in the world, where they can do their bidding, and the politicians will allow them to do so. Kind of an embassy is that's built on thousands of acres of land. It has underground dungeons that include detention cells. It has basically what you call pathways underground that lead to the sea, because that's where they have the other escape route.
By the way, how do we know this? Honest to God, I don't necessarily doubt her in that regard, but how did they know this? Why am I supposed to take this as written? Like torture chambers and a magic chute that sends you out to the sea? Seriously, how do we know? I mean, granted, I don't think this guy's going to interview somebody who isn't going to say this. So
they do have their own helicopter pads, and basically they can fly to Cyprus in and out.
So.
Yeah, helicopter pads are not shocking.
Oh, it has dungeons, it has torture rooms.
Sure it does.
It has escape routes. Because the U.S. has Israel as one battleship in the Middle East, and they're now building these massive entities that are based...
Not now. No. First of all, the point of this whole thing is they've been building it since 2017, since the last time Trump was in office. That's when they signed off on growing this fucking thing. And the story is the fact that the destabilization of Lebanon that occurred with Hezbollah in the south trying to pick up a fight and losing against Israel and basically being drummed out, that stabilized the Lebanese government, and the fall of Syria is why this is meaningful. And if you're going to get conspiratorial about it, you would think that maybe the United States could see the writing on the wall about these areas and decided that this is a pivotal place to have, a relationship. We've had a relationship with Beirut in the past. Previously, there are a lot of Lebanese Americans. It is a pivotal piece of territory, and it's right in the middle of all these places that are effectively falling apart. And Lebanon itself was basically bifurcated, across the middle by Hezbollah.
Basically, a form of U.S. ownership of these areas.
No, it isn't. They lease the territory for like 100 years.
To allow the U.S., along with Israel, to steal...
To set up water slides into the ocean for diplomats in case they have to bug out in the middle of Beirut again.
Various areas of the Middle East. You put in puppet governments, as it seems they have in Lebanon, obviously.
Oh, they have? I see. Which puppet government? The one that is Hezbollah or the one that isn't?
There's a difference between the Lebanese government and Hezbollah, but...
Is there?
Apparently the Lebanon's government, the officials are basically corrupt enough that they're fine with the U.S. doing this. It is incredibly secretive. As they mentioned, you don't know the U.S. government.
Yeah, I couldn't even see it. They were showing pictures of it, and I was like, what is that? It's just gleaming.
The government has not talked about why this is so large, what's going on inside of it. Really what it is it's a...
Gee, it's almost as if that's necessary for the security of the people inside.
Combination of embassy, intelligence services.
Yeah, we heard her. That's what she said.
Military service.
Yeah.
It's basically everything the U.S. would need to run large-scale operations out of Beirut.
As opposed to what, off of an aircraft carrier?
It goes along with the 900 military bases that the U.S. has around the world.
No, it doesn't. Those are for Bretton Woods. Those are to guard shipping lanes.
But this seems incredibly secretive, like it is not.
Yeah, I couldn't, again, it's not on any map. It's let's see, I don't know. Are there any, let's see. I don't even know if it exists on any known maps or anything. Let's see. Inside the new $1 billion mega fortress U.S. Embassy, 10 times bigger than London's, as of a week ago. Let's see. CNN. Massive new U.S. Embassy complex in a tiny Middle East nation is raising eyebrows. In May of 2023. Gee, how do they keep these fucking things secret? All this time. Look, there's not even a picture of it. I think that's just a ship blocking our view. Oh, shit. That must be, this is with the little tube that goes down into the dungeons. And this is what's happening over here. It's not a building, it's a complex of buildings. This is parking, obviously. Oh, meanwhile, here, this is something, I want to cheer up Lee Camp. I don't want him to feel like Russia's left out, because this is really just, you know, it's like a dick measuring contest about the size of buildings. 10 most striking Russian embassies around the world. This is in Beijing. This is their one in Beijing. This is all built from scratch on a raised piece of land. This is the one in Gabon. And where's the Poland? That's where they took a palace. This one I love. This is, boy, Havana, Cuba. You think the Russians are expecting some shit to hit the fan in Havana, Cuba? This thing's built like a fucking space colony prison out of a Stallone movie. A very bad one. It looks a lot like the Hollywood Terror, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Disneyland. Yeah, look at that thing. Gorgeous. There's the one in Rome. They just borrowed a building that was there, you know. There's D.C. It's basically a big block. Hey, look, it's the apartment buildings that Jimmy hates. Berlin, Germany, because that's what everything looks like in Germany. Same thing with Finland. The Netherlands, this is the Russian embassy in The Hague in Netherlands. It's a villa called De Mangan. It's adorable. It comes with a windmill, and twice a day, a Dutch woman chases a guy holding a pie out of this window, and they go around in a circle, and she's banging a pan with a rolling pin, and that lets you know to set your watch. And then Bern, Switzerland, of course, this one opens straight up onto the Hadron Collider. The biggest one of theirs is in Beijing, and the second biggest one is in Mexico. But anyways, back to, I don't know, torture chambers.
Been talked about heavily. The U.S. has not explained it away. And
how do you explain away a giant embassy compound? It's a giant embassy compound.
Yet it's getting very little coverage. So
yeah, very little coverage. Just CNN and MSNBC and let's see, where was this one? Metro and let's see. Yeah, nobody's called it. Barron's. No, sorry. That's generals, job opportunities. Contact us. Look, it's so hidden. They have a contact us page where you can get a job. Anybody want to work at the new compound? They need 5,000 workers. And these are jobs that will not be cut by Doge. I guarantee it. Massive new U.S. embassy is in a tiny location. There's the CNN one. Let's see. Why is the new embassy in Beirut? This is Ali Bawaba. There's the travel thing on there. Yes, their official website. Let's go to their official website. That's fun. That's this guy. So it's totally secret, guys. They don't even have a So nobody's working here except this lady. She's a career member of the Foreign Service. She's the current ambassador to Lebanon. But luckily, they don't have a map where you can find it. And you can't find... It's so secret, they don't even allow them to have social media, even a fucking YouTube page. The U.S. Embassy Beirut has the new embassy compound. Here's a video on it. 5 years ago, here's on the building. How to work with USAID at that place or whatever. A month ago, green innovation. Here you go. U.S. Ambassador Lisa Johnson toured a composting facility in Ras El Metin, funded by USAID. The goal of the facility is to divert waste by encouraging reuse and recycling. So, it's terrible. It's just all a big smokescreen. Nobody even knows what they do there. It's all in slow motion, because if you saw them moving fast, you'd know that what they were up to.
I'll be following updates on...
Boring. Also, I think this guy said at one point that... where was it? This is not an embassy. Where's this shit? That you have to list
50 times the size of what
the size on
Okay.
to talk about.
Hold on.
of America. These are always public information. They're public under.
Okay. Okay. Another thing. No, they aren't. Under the Vienna Convention, you have to publicize any military people that are coming and get permission from the country under the Vienna Convention. And I don't know if the fucking Lebanon is signature to the fucking Vienna Convention, but if you're going to have military people in that base or intelligence people, you have to get permission. You have to let people know you've got military people in their country, right? That's the rule. Unless you have a previous treaty, in which case you can have a military base, and then you can have kind of both, and they interact. But you don't have to list everybody there at all. You have to give a list of people. Anybody who works there and has credentials is assumed to have diplomatic immunity. And it is good form most of the time to let people know that you've got diplomats in the country. But you only have to technically let them know under the Vienna Convention if you're sending military attaches or you're sending, intelligence people or whatever. And I got news for you. The Russians never send us a note. And so, and again, like the green zone, they don't, the Iraqi government doesn't have a list of every military person living and working in the green zone. It's just stupid. They're not public under the Vienna Convention. They can be made public. They don't have to be made public. The only thing that you're under, let's see, find it. Hold on. The Vienna Convention, where is it? Let's see. Hold on. Vienna Convention, embassy staff rules. I don't know, something along those lines. Standard practice and principles governing diplomatic relations. Okay, but let's see. Let's see. Have to disclose all embassy staff names, Vienna Convention. Yeah. See. Under the Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations, only top diplomats are given the highest degree of immunity from law. The treatment of diplomats and their embassy is generally specified in the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. However, there are different categories of persons within each diplomatic mission, some of whom enjoy greater immunity than others. That doesn't tell me whether they need to be in there. But in that, let's see. Let's go there. 5 common misconceptions about diplomatic immunity debunked. And like everybody's free to do whatever the fuck they want as long as they're bugged out of the country. Blah blah blah. Depending on what country you're in, diplomatic immunity might not mean much. Even diplomats at the highest level of immunity can be issued traffic citations. Yeah, it depends on the agreement with the country. Hold on. This is. See if I can do this. Yeah, here it is. Under the Vienna Convention, the sending state may freely appoint the members of the staff of the mission. However, in the case of military, naval, or air attaches, the receiving state may require their names to be submitted beforehand for approval. That's it. They may require their names to be submitted beforehand. They do not have to be made public. This is silly. Just a dick. And again, have your issue with it, but that's just fucking not true. I know it's only something that I care about. I get it. All right, so one more thing. And do we have time? Shit, I'm out of time. Damn it. All right, I'll continue on this tomorrow because Trump was in Vegas and he did a whole fucking speech, and I have no doubt we will laugh our asses off. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. I'm still trying to not step on toes of my friends who are now programming themselves around my show. Because I'm a good guy. And God damn it, I want credit for it. And I do genuinely want to thank, we had some trolls here for the first time in a while, and I was so excited because, hold on, I'll get this in here, 1 second. Staff chat's happening, here we go. All right, yeah. That we, if it wasn't for the folks, oh, nice. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So Chris Titus is going to be on the second hour of Monday's show. That's fantastic. Next week. Love it. Look at us getting other folks in there. I do have an embassy. It's called Your Couch. Anyways, the important thing I want to point out, if I may, point of order, Mr. Chairman. Shit, where was I? I don't want to lose that thing. Is that there's a lot of shit. I lost my train of thought because I was reading while I was talking. God damn it! I'm gonna have to keep this. But anyway, so tomorrow we'll buzz that over into the other stuff. But I want everybody to when people are programming after me, I'm going to try my best to try and bump people over and send raids and that kind of stuff, because I feel like we can help each other by growing everybody's channel. But I got to tell you, I have been holding back in my demands of other people recognizing the help that I have given them over the years and the shore up, and I'm never going to not be nice about it, but I expect to be respected. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way to promote myself without being a dick about it. And apparently doing a lot of lovely favors for people doesn't necessarily do me any good, which is weird, because that was the issue I had with Midas for a while. I was raiding them all the time, and there was never any reciprocation. So I was like, what am I doing? Is there somebody else I can raid? Maybe like Liberal Dan, for example, who's coming up in just a little bit. And if I may, let me grab that real quick, and we will. I'll bring him about as best I can. Let me get back in here. Back into the Twitch situation. He'll be coming up in just a little bit, like an hour my time. We will make sure that if there's somebody I can hand the boost off to, I'm going to do it. Raid! Right. So let's see if this is in here. See who's up. Who am I following right on now? King of the Castle. King of the Castle. Look, Tony's up. He's been up an hour and 7, or he's been up a minute and 7. I don't know. And he's got 4. Maybe maybe that's a re-airing. I don't care. Let's send him over there. Start a raid. We're gonna throw it over to our dear friend the Tony Michaels, and then we'll everybody follow on as you will. Tony's a rerun. Okay, well then never mind. Cancel raid. Womp womp. Yeah, nobody else is live yet. Okay, that's okay. I can look at this. Hold on. Liberal Dan doing his thing tonight is kind of special. Nope, I'll have to do it later once he's on the air. Okay, well then I'll leave you guys to it. You guys can find your way to him on your own. But anybody else who's after me, I'm gonna punt him over there as best I can, because I'm that kind of a guy. Hit that like on your way out if you haven't already, and don't hit it if you have, because then you'll unlike the show, God forbid.
sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
They don't like your gas. Michigan gave us Motown. A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
Man.